refuse it. And so you could do this for the boy and basically initiate him into the covenant before he had a chance to refuse, before his fear would overcome him and he would have an opportunity to refuse.
Right.
And this was important because it was the father's responsibility to make sure this was done. And so if the boy later refused, the father was on the hook for not having his son circumcised.
What happened to free will? I thought free will was this important thing that their God wanted.
Well, and what happened to the Jewish prohibition about mutilating your body or marking your flesh or something?
Well, this one's different.
No, I know, yeah.
God made a deception.
I know.
I want to go ahead and take this. Mason, you there?
Yeah. Hey, how are y'all doing?
Good.
Good.
I'm watching the show and enjoying what y'all have to say. But I'm kind of wondering, first of all, what are y'all's qualifications? Y'all talk a lot. Y'all talk a lot about a lot of things, and you don't seem to have an expert from the other side there, sort of, to give their case and make their case. And what are y'all's backgrounds to sort of? Are y'all just personally interested? Did y'all?
Well, I'm personally interested because I have a son, and I had to make a decision. I don't know why that's even a decision that anyone gets to make for a helpless infant, but legally I had to make a decision for him, and so I educated myself about it.
And that kind of gets me to my second point. First of all, you mentioned that a Moyle was a special rabbi. A Moyle was not a rabbi. A Moyle was someone.
Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, he can be a rabbi, but he could be a doctor as well.
I mean, it can be. I mean, for hundreds and thousands of years, it was actually a specific job. And all these things that y'all are talking about and have researched and have looked into, I think it's worth noting that most Jewish people are aware of everything that you're saying.
Right.
And every male has gone through the circumcision.
There's something wrong with your sound. Can you turn your TV down or move back or whatever?
Hold on. Anyway, wait. Is that better?
Not particularly, but go ahead.
Well, anyway, the TV's off. But I'm just trying to get the point across to you. First of all, you mentioned the Orthodox Jews and the sucking of the blood from the penis. But you don't mention the fact that that is done in an incredibly minuscule amount of Jewish circumcisions at this point.
Actually, what I said was that I don't think most Orthodox Jews do it. For years, they said it wasn't being done at all, but we know that it is being done. I'm not claiming that this is an epidemic. I'm saying that this is the tradition. I never gave any numbers.
The practice, I would say that the tradition is what you're currently doing, and I would tell you that 99.99% of the people out there.
Okay, where did you get that number?
Where did I get that number? I know I'm Jewish. Let me tell you, I ever worked on me with a complete artist.
Okay, but I mean, here's my point. You call in to ask what our qualifications are. We're giving information from medical organizations. We're talking about history. We're giving our stuff on it, but I'm not quoting numbers unless I have facts from an organization. And yet you're comfortable with exaggerating to say 99.9%. Let's be honest. You just pull that number out of your ass.
I am pulling the number out. I'm making it up, but I'm telling you, like, the average Jewish person is such a small minority of people that still do that.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand. I had to put you on hold. There's something really, really wrong with your phone connection. I had to put you on hold. We understand that this is an extreme minority. It may have even been, let's say it was a practice that completely stopped, just like cutting with flint. That's not what our objection is at all. And we haven't actually we're just giving background information. We haven't, I don't think, really got to the point of stating what our position is and why, actually, yet.
No.
But I'll let you get one last word in if the connection holds, but then we're going to move on. You there?
Yeah, the way you're presenting it really makes it look as if it's something barbaric, something that is harming the child.
It is barbaric.
It is barbaric.
Consideration whatsoever, and that's just not the truth.
That is the truth.
It is the truth.
It does harm the child.
It is barbaric. It is medically unnecessary to do this on newborns. It is barbaric. It is tradition, and it does do harm.
I've not heard one published report, and tell me where I can look online for some medical organization who the child.
There's no medical organization in the world that recommends neonatal circumcision.
No. I don't know that there are medical organizations.
Yeah, actually,
the
Canadian Pediatric Organization absolutely doesn't recommend it, and the Canadian Health, the National Health Service in Canada and in England do not pay for it. It's actually and.
All right.
And in Scandinavia, they've actually passed laws that banned it, and they will put you in jail if you circumcise a child.
I got to drop you because of this weird feedbacky noise that we're getting on the phone. We'll continue to address what you're talking about, both in the comments. If you can get a better phone and call back, I'd recommend doing that. Whoops. There we go. The thing is, you're not going to get a medical organization to come out and say, this is barbaric. This is a contentious issue that is related to lodge choice. My question is, it's my opinion that this is barbaric. That's it. In my view, this is barbaric. In Jen's view, it's barbaric. The fact that it does harm, I think is something that is absolutely beyond question. We are removing a part of a human being without their consent. There's pain involved. That alone is harm. There is risk involved. That alone is harm. When we're talking about, we mentioned earlier, and I have information here, pro and con, with regard to circumcision and possible medical benefits of circumcision. What we're objecting to is routine infant circumcision. There is no medical justification for this. If you had a grown man, do you think it would be fair? Do you think it would be right to circumcise a grown man without their consent? Would that not be a violation of their rights as a human being? I think almost everybody would agree that it is. You don't have that right. Why then is it okay to do this to an infant who cannot give consent? Is it simply because parents own their children and get to do whatever the hell they want? If that's the case, why not let the parents perform an appendectomy? An appy is relatively normal surgery. It's not, I mean, yes, it's more invasive than a circumcision. I'm not equating the two. But I tell you what, we remove that kid's appendix, I can provide a 100% guarantee that he will never suffer appendicitis or ruptured appendix because it's gone. Hey, you know what? We could cut the whole penis off and guarantee that he would never get an STD from sexual activity because he can't. The question at this point becomes one of rights of an individual, including an infant, and a cost-benefit analysis, for lack of a better phrasing, of what are the potential risks. All I'm saying, and I think all Jen's saying, although I'll let her get back to more what she wants to talk about in a second, is give everyone their rights. Let them make an informed decision on their own. There's absolutely no reason to perform a circumcision on an infant. They're not going to be having sex at 1 or 2 years old. They are at no risk from sexually transmitted diseases, even if that's a benefit. Get them up 12 as a coming of age, like when it used to be done. Provide them all the medical information you can. Let them make an informed decision. If they choose on their own, based on good medical evidence, after consulting with experts to do this, congratulations. If they don't, congratulations. They've exercised a choice. That's the important thing. I'm not saying that circumcision in and of itself is bad in every situation for everybody. Do whatever you want, as long as you're making an informed decision as an adult.
And in fact, just to clarify my position on this, I think that an adult male should be able to choose to cut any part of himself off, including his foreskin, for any reason or no reason at all. As long as he's an adult, he's made an informed decision, I think that's his right. And in fact, I think that it should be treated as any other cosmetic procedure, unless, of course, there's a medical indication. And even then, he has a right to consult with a physician who will give him the best cosmetic result possible. And I'll even go on record here in saying that there's a guy in Atlanta who, I have no objective way of verifying this, but I'm told he does excellent work. He actually uses a microsurgical technique so that the suture line is very small. If you're a guy and you're thinking about getting cut, I recommend you look up the Circumcision Center in Atlanta and see if that's something you're interested in, because I think you want to go for somebody that's going to give you a good result. So You know, I have no problem with an adult male making that decision for himself. I just don't believe that anyone has a right to take that away from an infant.
Yeah, and on a personal note, not to let everybody on the planet know too much about my genitalia,